Washington State University has been a global leader in pulse crop research for many, many years, and so we've been kind of the center of research for variety improvement, which gets new products into growers' hands. Fred's the founding father of chickpea production in the Pacific Northwest.
We began working on chickpeas sometime in the early 80s. We developed several varieties that are now being grown in the area and has become one of the major crops in the Palouse region.
Legumes are an excellent rotational tool as part of a package of helping farm families succeed.
In the last decade, garbanzos have been the cash crop.
The time is right for us to make a strong investment and a commitment to pulse crops in this region.
We have a very narrow window to go out and seize the ability to focus our research. We have a crop that is very well accepted publicly. We have a very small gap between the field and the consumer. All we need to do is focus the research.
We need a more comprehensive approach to both the breeding, the development of new varieties, as well as how we can better control weeds in these crops.
One of the motivations for creating a pulse chair is to create sustainability around research in pulse crops. And so the direct benefit to the producer will be a higher quality variety to grow in your field.
To bring in a chair to refocus is the next evolution of what's going to bring us the varieties we need.
The way that it works is it's an endowment that generates interest, and that interest is used to fund research. So the $3 million endowment will generate $120,000 per year at a 4% payout. Every dime of that money will be spent to do research on improving varieties that eventually end up in growers' hands.
The research done here at WSU is particularly valuable because it's being done in the area where the crop is being grown.
And WSU is 15 miles away, and boy, it's just fabulous having that kind of information that close.
WSU research right now is truly yield-oriented, number one.
Washington State University's commitment is to provide the salary and the laboratory space. So it's a win-win proposition for sure, because we get an amazing researcher and the industry gets very focused efforts in research around pulse crop development and improvement.
Well, the next 20 years of the pulse crop industry looks very bright. There's an increasing demand worldwide for pulse crops. If we're able to continue with meeting that demand, it will mean very good incomes for local growers. In order to do that, we'll need to increase productivity. We'll need to improve our methods of weed control and disease control in these crops.
As a land-grant university, one of our strongest partnerships is with our stakeholders. Together we can do something much more powerful than either of us could do apart, and I think that's the beauty of these endowments. It creates a long-term future for these programs, regardless of budget cuts, regardless of what happens with agendas and directions of the university. It secures a long-term commitment to pulse research at Washington State University. So doing it together is a beautiful way to say, we believe in this and we want this to go on forever.
I think of the late Norman Borlaug, who said, "Give sound science to farm families and they will feed the world." Land grant research is so vital to the future of agriculture in the Inland Empire and beyond. We as agriculturalists need to pitch in and do our share too.
If you aren't moving forward, then you're sliding backwards and soon you're replaced. This is just crucial to keep moving forward in the food we produce. An endowed chair would be a wonderful asset to the pea, lentil, and garbanzo world.
It's a big picture. This endowed chair will very much help in making agriculture strong for the long haul, for our families, for our children and grandchildren. I can't think of anything more vital.
I think we're putting our next generation in the right direction.
When I go testify in DC or in Olympia about why funding for agricultural research is important, I look forward to being able to go to them and say, look at this endowed chair. This is an example of agriculture pitching in and making something happen. It's an example of agriculture helping people do important things that are vital not only for our Eastern Washington economy, but for feeding Washingtonians and feeding the world. Nothing could be more important.